What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the 4 different order types you see with Robinhood. So Robinhood is a new type of brokerage company kind of made and designed for millennials. It is one that started that free commission and I think that's why it's become so popular, especially with new traders not wanting to, incur much cost when it comes to investing, especially if they're starting with like a smaller account, like a couple $100s, then it becomes the ideal platform for them. But something that our traders have been encountering is, what are the different order types under Robinhood and what do they mean? A screen should be popping up right here listing the different order types. So the 4 different order types that are available are market order, limit order, stop loss, and stop limit. So first, starting off with market. So market means that whatever the market price is selling. So for example, we're going to be talking about Snapchat. Snapchat was one that had a lot of volume, and one of the things that they were experienced was while they were trading Snapchat, they didn't know about what limit meant and anything like that. So market price, what that means is that you're gonna buy at whatever the market value is. And since Snapchat experienced so much volume and it was fluctuating so quickly in price, all of a sudden you could have been trying to buy at $22, and then by 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, the time it actually took you to click buy, select market price, put in the amount of shares that you want to buy and swipe up and then execute, it could have increased 30-40 cents, and now your actual buy-in point is now at your sell point, and now you might be at a loss, or you could have hit a resistance. So market price becomes a little bit more difficult to work with. I suggest always to buy at limit price, and what that means is if you're trying to buy Snapchat at $22.50 and it's coming down from the $23 and you want to catch it at that support, then you put a limit price at $23 or $22.50, and your stock or your buy will only execute at that specific price point, meaning that you will only buy Snapchat if it hits $22.50 or below, right? So with the market order, you're buying automatically at whatever the market price is, and that makes it a little bit more difficult for an investor to get in and get out at the specific price points that they want to lock in a specific amount of profit. So what I suggest is the next one, limit price. So every time you're buying and selling, that's always what we do. We buy at a limit price, which means if I want to buy Snapchat at $22.50, I put in a limit at $22.50, and I at least ensure that I'm only getting filled at $22.50 and not at $22.60 if that's where it popped up, and also when I'm selling, I always want to control where I'm selling. So if all of a sudden it starts rising up, I know there's a resistance at $23, I don't have to wait and then put in my order at that moment. I can, as soon as I get filled, put in a limit order to sell at $23, and my stock or my shares of Snapchat will only sell automatically when it hits $23 or above. And what that allows me to do is to get in and get out at that exact price point that I want to, so I can lock in the exact amount of profit that I want. So it makes it a little bit easier for an investor to manage the kind of like where they're getting in and where they're getting out. Now, getting a little bit more into it, there's 2 different types of other order types, and it's a stop loss and stop limit. Stop loss is I've made a video on that, just elaborating a little bit more on what it's for and stuff like that. So stop loss, it automatically sells, like let's say we got into Snapchat at $22.50. I see that there's a support at $22.50. I want to give it a 2% kind of gap of margin so it can kind of fluctuate and then continue rising up. But again, these stocks are highly volatile, so you should always have a stop loss to at least control the amount of money that you lose. So what you can do is set a stop loss, and what that allows you to do is by setting the stop loss, let's say at $22.30, now you control if all of a sudden Snapchat takes a dip, you at least cut your losses at $22.30 or below. And what I mean by below is when you're setting a stop loss, you're actually selling at market price or market value below that point. So if you put in a limit at $22.30, there has been moments or times that you can get filled at $22.25 because it dropped so quickly that your order didn't get filled, and the market price at that time that it executed was actually 5 cents less than what you initiated it to be. And then that brings us to the other one. What's stop limit? Stop limit is an exact price point where you want to cut your losses. So it will only get filled at $22.30. And if it drops below it and it skips $22.30, then you will not get filled. And that kind of becomes a little bit more difficult to deal with, because if it continues to drop, now you missed out your opportunity to get filled. So you kind of have to understand or kind of come up with a reasoning if you want to, stop loss at whatever price point below $23 or $22.50, or if you only want to cut your losses at $22.30. And if it doesn't fill there, then you'll continue to hold, because if it comes back up, then it'll fill back there again. But I don't want to confuse you guys too much. So pretty much what stop loss is that it's gonna cut your losses at market price of that point that you set. And what a stop limit is, it's a limit order to cut your losses at whatever price point it gets. And that's the easiest way for me to put it. So it's pretty much like a limit buy and a market buy, but it's a stop loss, which is kind of like the market of cutting your losses, and then the limit sell or stop limit is kind of like the limit order to cut your losses that it only get filled at that specific price point. And again, you can use this every time you buy and sell. And what that allows you to do is, again, to get in and to get out at that exact price points that you want to. For market prices, there has been a couple members within our group that have been experiencing this because they're not too familiar with the platform and what it has to offer. So I thought making this video will expose some of you to a little bit more of the tools that Robinhood has to offer, as well as many different brokerage companies, and give you guys a better understanding on that, how you guys can benefit from this, right? I do want to give a shout out to one of our traders. His name is Justin Swift, and he brought in a total of 203% profit since he started trading with us, and it was with his stock of ICLD. He's one that's been very active within the group, so I just thought I'd give him a huge shout out, for being a part of TechBet Solutions and being, a great part of TechBet Solutions, since he's always sharing his best practices and sharing mistakes and creating a positive environment within TechBet. So, thank you again, Justin, for everything that you do, and I really do appreciate it. So, go ahead and if you're within the group chat, say thank you and say what's up to him. But if that's pretty much it for this video. So if you guys have any other suggestions or want me to elaborate a little bit more on what we were talking about today, please just let me know in the comments. I do have the link to join TechBet Solutions. It is a free platform. We're sitting a little bit over 5,500 members worldwide again, and it's a very welcoming environment for all new traders and experienced traders all together. We are currently developing the platform that we want to hold TechBet Solutions, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to communicate with one another. But it's been a huge learning experience, not only for myself, but for the thousands of members that are part of our group. So I'd love to be a part of your success. Again, the link is provided for you down below, and within that link, it does allow you to join our group chat platform within the top post of our Facebook platform. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys can like and subscribe to this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and let's make sure that we end this week on a green note. Take care, guys. Baby, don't you let it go to waste.